So, I go to school at Penn State, and at the beginning of the year, I would often write in all the bathroom stalls, read Ishmael by Daniel Kuhn with a Sharpie. Actually, it's usually a red Sharpie, and they and I just did that because I figured it would maybe give hope to the people who have read Ishmael that other people are out there reading the book. Um, and then recently I've been giving away lots of free books every single day out on this area, just like giving away all the books I have, which is lots and lots of books. And one day there was a copy of Ishmael sitting out there, and this guy walks up and he's like, "Oh, that's a pretty good book you got there." And I was like, "Yeah, have you read any of the sequels?" And he was like, "No, I just read it recently, actually. Somebody had graffitied on the wall of the bathroom, 'Read Ishmael' by Daniel Quinn, so I just decided to read it." And I was like, "No way. Was it written in red marker?" And he was like, "Yep." And I was like, "That was me." And I just thought that was unbelievable that he had read the book that I had recommended just through writing it on the wall. And that story just was really amazing, and it makes me want to make this video, which is just about the three books that really changed my path and how I was kind of catalyzed to read those books. So the first book was for me Ishmael. Before I read Ishmael, I didn't really like anything to do with philosophy. I never thought for myself. I would just watch music videos for 4 hours a day. I was just in a drone zone or something. And then finally, by watching lots of YouTube videos of people talking about Ishmael, I decided to read Ishmael. So hopefully, if you haven't read Ishmael, you may be interested in reading it. But basically, Ishmael started it all for me because it just articulated these feelings that I kind of had in me for a couple months. I was just watching lots of things, learning. But after reading Ishmael, I became an avid reader and started reading all kinds of other books. And then I read this book called Culture Jam, about ad busters and all that, and that really got me going pretty intensely. But Ishmael was the number one big changing book for me, and then Culture Jam was a big one, but the really big second one came a bunch of months later after I had this horrible chronic pain problem. I read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and that helped me get my pain to go away in a day. This horrible chronic pain that I had for months and months and months. I just figured out how to get it away, and I was just in this state of joy and bliss for 2 weeks straight after reading The Power of Now. And then I started reading all these Derek Jensen books, and Derek Jensen, I think, has a lot of pieces to the puzzle as far as problems in the world, but I don't think he has as many pieces to the puzzle as Charles Eisenstein does. So I was reading all these Derek Jensen books thinking that he was completely right, but then I read The Ascent of Humanity by Charles Eisenstein, and I really think that his philosophy is more correct and more comprehensive and all-encompassing. And Charles Eisenstein spent 10 years writing this book, and it's just really, really amazing. You can read at least the intro at ascentofhumanity.com. The whole text is online, but that book really just kind of set the stage for for the last probably 4 or 5 months of my life. It's just a really powerful book, and it really inspired me to take positive action, and then instead of trying to resist everything, which is basically what Derek Jensen says, but when you resist everything, it drains your energy, and you can really put that energy towards creating new stuff. And I really think that is the key. So I'm interested to know, what are your three big events that kind of change your life, the big three checkpoints, or whatever you want to call them, because I had a lot of shocks to my system, that shock waves that really helped me wake up to the world, but I'm interested to know what maybe your 3 books are, or your 3 big events that really helped you progress on the invisible path. So hopefully you can respond or comment or both, or dooby dooby doo, whatever you want to do. Peace. Live spontaneously.